going on, guys? My name is Mr. 619 and we're back today after a few days off. I'm sorry, I really apologize. I've had to get into the school grind again. As you know, the new semester has started for college. It's my fourth year, can't screw around, but I'm still going to be pumping out a little bit of content for you guys. And so I guess with that in mind, again, apologize, but I'll be probably cutting back a lot, but I'll still be getting content out for you guys, and I'll have like an official schedule very soon. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, at rage_NL if you want to get the information first and as soon as possible. But anyways, so what are we doing here today? Well, for those of you who do not know about esports, obviously I'm surprised that I'm the first person you're seeing, but anyways, esports, competitive video gaming. I've loved it for years, and I've been a part of it for years, so I just figured now I'm going to start pumping out some content since the Call of Duty League, the professional league for Call of Duty, is on its off season. So there's some juicy stuff happening lately. So we're going to be going through all the rumored rosters and ranking them, just off of what the rumors are. Right now, some of them, 3 of them, have been confirmed. And then the rest are up in the air. I'm going to be taking right now the Esports. They released, they released a list of everything that is rumored to be happening. Of course, there are 4 confirmed. I apologize. There are 4 confirmed. 3 that were up in the air. 1 was already confirmed since day 1. But so we'll be going through these, and some of them I will have to place in like what could be happening, but we'll be ranking them right here, these CDL teams. So first off, let's just go in here. Where is it? The Empire, the defending champions. All they did was drop Clayster. You really can't have like a defending world champion and not say that they're coming into the year on a high. Crim6, consistent player throughout all of CoD. Hook is definitely a consistent player throughout all the CODs that he's played too. The question really lies on Alien Shotzi on how they're going to be able to adapt. But since, like I saw it in the comments one time recently, defending world champs, how can you vote against them? I want to say easy A to S tier. I'm going to leave him in S tier for now, just because how could you not, The other one that got, the first one to drop, kind of like the dominoes hit a little bit, the Chicago Huntsmen. It's going to be Scump, Formal, Envoy, and then I don't think at this point, at this point when the article was released, they hadn't announced that their roster would officially add Dashi. From a talent perspective, this is just ridiculous. Like, Scump has been on the upswing since last couple years. Since Black Ops 4 Champs, he's been on an upswing. Formal had a bit of a lull year, but he still shows signs of greatness, and he's still one of the greatest ARs of all time. Envoy is just nasty. Like, he's on the upswing too. And Dashi had a year spent on the bench, which I think reformed him. I don't expect them to have as steep of a drop-off as people think they will. A lot of people say that they're going to start off very, very hot and cool down like Optic Gamings of old. But I don't see this happening this year. I think this year something's going to change, especially since Envoy's there. I really have high expectations of him, and I think Scump is finally going to, after the kind of kick in the face that happened last year with Dallas Empire winning the champs, I expect this team to be absolutely fueled for the entire year, especially with the pedigree that they have. Like, I don't see this, and maybe I'm a little biased. I don't see them being bad, and I gotta put them in S too. Maybe I'm a little biased with that, but I have to put them in S. All right, next, Atlanta Faze. Okay, Atlanta Faze recently picked up Arcitys, who was just let go by Chicago Huntsmen. This was my original biggest problem with Rostermania. I think Chicago Huntsmen should have done everything. I know he wanted to play main AR. Chicago Huntsmen should have done everything to keep Arcitys, because he is one of those players that is invaluable. You do not drop him. You keep him at all costs. Formal and Scump being 2 of the biggest brands, it's understandable. They have a brand in and of each other, like, and respectfully in and of themselves. But man, letting go of Arcitys, especially him being confirmed to be picked up by the Atlanta Faze to join Simp, Celium, and Abizi. Simp and Abizi being probably the deadliest duo in the entire league. It's going to be ridiculous. If there is a weak spot, it'll be Celium. And if you think Celium is the weak spot, if Celium is the weak spot of this team, it's ridiculous. Immediate, no question, S. Like, Chicago could flex this at the beginning, and it may take time for them to be there or whatever. They can flex between S and A. But Atlanta Faze, no question, S tier. They're going to be the one that comes in that everybody just assumes it's just going to be ridiculous. Because you have Simp, 2 years ago MVP, probably could have been MVP last year too. I didn't agree with... I don't know if I agreed with the MVP choice of last year, but Abizi was also a dark horse for MVP. Celium was an early game MVP, and then Arcitys was the MVP of the Huntsmen for sure last year. I think almost if it was between Arcitys and Envoy, but like, anyways, the fourth team that has been officially confirmed and is confirmed now is the Minnesota Rocker. They dropped basically their entire team. And they picked up Accuracy, Attach, Major Maniac, and Priesta. I'm interested in the fact that this guy had the information that this was happening, because this sounds really weird on paper. I remembered that. I didn't like it. I thought it could go well, or it could totally be a flip-flop team. Accuracy, main AR, 100%. Major Maniac has been a main AR last year and in years past. I mean, he was flexing, but Priesta has been flex. Attach has been flex. It's been years since these guys, like when he was on Faze in World War II. That's 3 years ago. Priesta was running sub flex in BO4, I think. I want to say he was sub flex, but and Attach was a flex / AR. Like, these guys, this just seems like a slow team. I have a lot of faith in Priesta. I think Attach is insane. Major Maniac never really impressed me, and Accuracy, even in his World War II run, didn't impress me. But overall, not a terrible team for right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the C, just as the middle of the pack. I don't really know. We'll adjust this at the end, but... So, Los Angeles Guerrillas. After a terrible first inaugural season, they let go of their entire team except for Vivid. Which, man, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Blast, Decimate. They were doing some good work. I don't think that they were bad, and I don't think that they would have been bad if they were allowed to grow and maybe fly from the beginning. I don't know that getting rid of those guys was the call, especially like just letting them walk or getting rid of them. Maybe you could have traded them. Who knows? Everybody else, I mean, Aqua was doing good at times, but like everybody else is just kind of like, and they'd already gotten rid of Aches at one point. And this new team, since I have no idea, I'll just have to go off of what they're saying here. Silly Assault, Vivid, and a fourth. Man, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound like much of an improvement. I mean, Silly is not bad. Assault's not bad. He's a former world champion. I think, wasn't Silly on that EG squad too? I know it was Apathy, Aches, Assault, and Silly. That was such a weird year, man. I don't even understand how the hell they won champs in World War II. I probably could have beat that team, but they showed up on the right day. Vivid is a really good up-and-comer. It just doesn't do it for me, man. Probably easy W. I'm sorry. Alright. Seattle Surge. Man, this is crazy because they probably have the best AR in the game. They dropped pretty much everybody. Unfortunately, they didn't have a great placement. They didn't have great placements last year. Bottom of the barrel team last year. Surprisingly, might I add, Octane was still. Got into a few Twitter debates about this. Octane was still nasty last year. He was MVP form, but like they just it's a 5-man game. Like, you can be MVP form and so much you just can't control, since there's, if you're 1v9ing, it's harder than 1v7ing. Yeah, that's English. So they dropped the entire roster. Apathy possibly could have stayed. I never had a lot of faith in Enable, though he had found his way onto teams, and he had been a good voice in teams in the past. But rumored, Octane, Looney, Pristini, and Gunless. That is a team worth watching. Okay, Gunless has never been bad. It was never a question of skill. If they can get along, I know Pristini and Gunless have been linked because they're very close friends. Man, Octane and Gunless, that sounds ridiculous. Pristini has his moments. He's a very selfless player. Looney is the part that's a little bit questionable. Given, if we go off of the fact that it's these 4 players, I feel pretty good about that. I'd say Seattle Surge are steps ahead of where they were the previous year. And I think that they're a B-tier team, at least with the way this is looking right now. Alright. But that's a given that that's the 4 players. Because you never know, man. You never know what they could do. Because Octane was saying the other day on Twitter that it happened to him again where people have sketched. London Royal Ravens got rid of Scraps and Wuskin and Dylan. I think, didn't they... I forget when the entire list of everybody who had been resigned came out. They're dumb to do this. Like, man, these names on here, some of the best Europeans of all time, I'm surprised that they got rid of all of them. I'm sure that they'll re-sign Dylan, but just going off of what they have, Shawnee, Alex, and Dylan, okay, it's pretty good. I think you could have slotted in like at least one person from in here, and it would be a really good contending roster. Europeans just have not been doing well lately. Like, what did they have? Did they have top 4 at champs? They might have had top 4 at champs, because I think they did have top 4 champs because Chicago beat the Royal Ravens. But that was such a standout performance. Like that was not expected by the Royal Ravens at all. I don't know. Europeans, like, they're good COD players, but like they've just never really had a consistent run of dominance. Splice had a few back in Black Ops 3. They had a run. There have been times, but just, I don't know. It's difficult to see. It's difficult to see them dropping all these people. I mean, Dylan, Alex, and Shawnee, that's a good starting core. Alex had a decent year on Minnesota. I'm just going to put them next to the Rocker. Actually, they're definitely not as good as the Rocker. I think I'll put them down there for now, and we'll come back to that. Florida Mutineers. Okay. This is where it starts to get interesting, especially with all the questions that have to be answered. So Skies, insane. He's had many consistent years. He looks incredible on form. Awakening, brand new to the scene, but fresh blood has been coming up and dominating. So you can't count him out right now. Pharaoh has been insane, consistent. His movement's been ridiculous, but this won't be a high tier movement game, I don't think. Sad to see Frosty go. He was from what I know, he's like one of the best teammates most people say they have. So if we're going off of Skies, Awakening, Pharaoh, possibly Havoc, that's a pretty good team. Skies and Awakening and Pharaoh as a solid core of 3. If they could poach somebody, like maybe from the Seattle Surge squad, maybe from, I don't know, like, there are a lot of like little, because what would they need? They have Skies and main AR. They have Pharaoh. They would need another sub. But just that core of 3, is enough to say that I would put them next to Seattle Surge. Of course, that's just the rumors, but just that core of 3 would put me up here. I like it. All right. Toronto Ultra, they got rid of Brack. Wow. They got rid of Classic. Wow. I don't agree with this. I don't agree. Like, Kleenex and Cammy, they surprised. They surprised. I think they brought back Bance. Did they not? I know they brought back Methods. There's 100% they brought back Methods. I'm pretty sure that this is their team of 4, if I remember correctly. It just doesn't do it for me. They surprised. They turned a lot of heads when they won their own home series this year. But, like, it just... Man, that's just... Kleenex and Cammy, surprising, but... I don't have a lot of faith in it, man. I don't have a lot of faith in it. I expected them to do a lot better at Champs. Didn't see it. Methods, he's been consistent, solid. People keep counting him out, but I just can't. I can't toss it any higher than C. I think that's a solid placement. All right, Optic Gaming, Los Angeles. Chino, R.I.P. my brother Chino. He has been dropped again, and it probably wasn't even his fault. You know, Chino has been doing everything for the past few years. Good guy Chino has been stepped on one more time. Hollow, they had a nice little thing going at the end there, okay? They got rid of Dashi, obviously joining the Huntsmen. Goonjar, nondescript. Like, it does nothing for me. It hasn't for years. Not since Black Ops 2 days when he first broke onto the scene. He was something. And like a few years after that, he was decent in Ghosts. Nowadays, not really like that big of a deal. I wish Priesta ended up on this roster, man. Yeah, they said Priesta was in talks with them. Priesta, Gunless, somebody. I just wish somebody. Yeah, okay, there it is too. I just wish one of them had ended up here. Gunless still has a chance to. Draza and TJ. Draza was looking nasty at the end of the year. This team's potential, to me, depending on who they can land, I think they could be freaking nasty. I think they could be ridiculous. Especially back in a 4v4 Black Ops 2. Black Ops sort of style. Like, yeah, I've heard it plays like Black Ops 2 mixed with Black Ops 4. Man, I see Slasher, TJ, and Kenny. Slasher, TJ, and Kenny. Oh yeah, I forgot Kenny was on there. Oh wait, wow. But I remember they re-signed Draza, but is he going to be the 4th? Because is Kenny going to flex then? I would think you would try and get Gunless and then put him in there, because then it would be ridiculous. Kenny TJ is the sub-duos? Gunless? Flex? Slasher? Main AR? That would be ridiculous, man. That would be absolutely nasty. That would almost bump them up to S tier. Almost. But after the down year that they all had, they performed at Champs though. With the way it is now, I say A. A with potential. You could bump it down to and say B with potential, I guess, but with the way this list looks, I'd put them in there. Personally. Paris Legion, cleaned house. I have no idea what they're gonna do. Probably pick up. I heard that they were looking to pick up like some new people, some young bloods. Which, I mean, with the way your season went, I'm surprised they got rid of Phantoms. I remember him being ridiculous. And Brezzy, did they even have a chance to fly on this team? Because wasn't it Dens, Luca, Zed, Kismet? Who was the other one? Shocks? Wasn't Shocks on there too? They put Luca twice. I would have kept these two. I remember them being ridiculous. But yeah, I had heard things from Prez. I've heard Hydra he's being thrown around in some talks, but I think he was more for the New York Subliners. Honestly, full rebuild, can't really put much into it. Probably an ECW until any rumors come out for it. But and last but not least, we have the New York Subliners. They released Temp. Oh, I forgot about Temp. Temp's in the talent pool. Very good. Sensor and Happy. I think Sensor's going to be playing in Challengers, so that's scary for me. Zuma, Mac, and Attach went to Minnesota. Zuma, Mac. Clay's in the talent pool. I'm surprised they got rid of Temp. Clay could have just literally came in and, flexed straight in. I think they would have been nasty. So, will they be good? Probably. Zuma, Clay. Zuma back on a Black Ops role where a sub can really come in. Mac, impressive. Clay is almost a given on this team now. Could I see him going somewhere else? It's not one of these three teams. It could be, I guess it could be Paris, maybe. It's not Seattle. It could be Gorillas. I don't know, man. New York seems like the easiest place for Clay, and at this point, now that some teams have already announced, it's got to be New York. It's got to be New York. Depending on who their fourth is, I would have kept Temp. That would have made them better. Could Gunless come over here? Could Pristini come over here? Mac was flexing. Maybe they don't need a flex. Maybe they need another sub. Pristini flexing in there? I guess. John is. This is another thing, bonus intel. I had heard John was trying to make a comeback. The most likely landing spot for him would have been the Seattle Surge. In place of Looney on that squad would be really cool, but I don't know. Could he land here too? Who knows? With the core that I think is definitely going to be on there, Clay, Mac, and Zuma. Oh, that's difficult. It either ranks... I think it ranks here. I think it ranks in B. I think... I love Clay. Never count him out. He's the 5v5 boogeyman. Zuma's been kind of lulling. And Mac is just unproven. So I think it drops them below. MVP, Kenny, TJ, who's been ridiculous over many years, solo carrying some teams at times. Slasher, who's been a top 3 AR for many, many, many years. Especially Treyarch games. That's tough. And then whoever their fourth could be. That's why doing this, and this is like a preseason, we'll call it a preseason power rankings of sorts. So I would probably, if you were to go left to right, you have to give number 1 to Dallas Empire because they won. Atlanta Faze again in Chicago. This seems like exactly how the last few years have gone. Then I would actually put Optic Gaming at like 4th. Then... Oh, this is difficult, man. These are easy, though. These are easy. This is all in order. The B tier is where it gets really hard. Because who are you more scared of? Clay, Octane, or Skies? They're all ridiculous. Who are you more scared of? Zuma... I mean, you don't know who's on Seattle, but Zuma, Priesta, or Awakening. Awakening's just unproven that he can do it over multiple CODs. Zuma is proven, but he's been on a lull. And possibly Pristini. He hasn't looked bad, but he needs like a duo. He is really defined by his other subs. It's hard. It's kind of like a wash. So, coming off of the year he had, I would put a lot of faith in Clay. But did he have a great year? I don't know that he had a great year, but he definitely had a great champs. I would probably more expect Seattle and Florida to be a little bit better than New York. And yeah, actually, if I was to rank them, power rankings, starting 1 on the left and then descending to the right, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's exactly how it would go. Yeah. So, thank you guys for, watching, checking out my way too early power rankings and the rumor video. Make sure if you liked to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications whenever I upload. Go on Twitter, follow me there for all the news and everything that's coming up soon. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, want to have a conversation about any of this stuff. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.